Have you ever been out in the middle of a construction project? I mean, like 4, 8, 12 weeks, halfway through it. You know you bid it right. As a matter of fact, it was one of those jobs that you didn't even expect to get, but you bid it high. If you got it, you wanted to make sure you won. So you have twice the amount of margin in it, but yet you get out on the project and all of a sudden you're tight and you're like, what is going on? My name is Scott Peper. I'm the CEO and founder of Mobilization Funding, and for the last 10 years, we've been helping businesses figure out this exact problem. What I want to talk to you about today is cash flow as it relates to construction bidding. That scenario that I just described, that happens all the time. And it's not because you bid the project wrong. It's not because you don't have the margin you have. You didn't anticipate how much money you actually have to spend of the expenses that you are anticipated prior to you actually cash flowing the job, or better yet said, the job can cash flow itself. What do I mean by that? Look, when you bid a job, regardless of the margin, regardless of the markup, there is a certain amount of expenses that have to go out on a week by week basis, and there's a certain amount of money on the contract that's going to come in on a monthly basis. Depending on how fast that money comes in and how fast your money goes out in expenses, that is where your cash flow pain or concerns are going to come about. And knowing that in the bid process is critical to your success. That's what we're going to discuss right now. When you're looking at your bid process, and this is critical because in the bid process is where you will either win or lose in this scenario. All right, so we've got the bid process. Everyone knows what you're talking about. You've laid out what your expenses are. You've followed your process. And for this purpose of this conversation and this particular video, let's just think that your bid process is solid. You don't make mistakes when you're bidding, and you've bid the project correctly, meaning you've allocated the right expenses and you anticipated what you need to have. You didn't miss something, okay? So now that you have a great bid, you've laid out your expenses, you've put your proper margin, you've allocated your overhead, you're good. Now you get to executing the project on the schedule for which you've anticipated as well. Here's the missing piece, and in my world, in my mind, this is the third piece of the bid process that only typically happens after you've made lots of mistakes. I think most people in construction have a two-part bid process. You know your expenses, you lay them out compared to the schedule that you need to follow, and then you anticipate those, build yourself a bid, add your markup, and you're good. So you've covered the first two. What are my expenses and markup or margin? And what is my schedule? The third piece is figuring out how much money do you need to invest of the expenses, meaning how much of those dollars and expenses are going to go out the door before and during the project as you're getting paid on the project. That is the third piece. It's the most critical piece, and it's the cash flow piece. What can you do about it? Well, follow the same process you do to bid. Follow the same process you do to add your margin. Make sure you're looking at the difference between markup and margin. We have a whole video here on YouTube that you can look up markup versus margin. So I'm not going to discuss that today, but it's a big difference. So make sure you're allocating the right numbers to what your profit and overhead costs are going to be. And then third, the last thing, add in a project cash flow. So take that bid, take that schedule, map out the project cash flow for it so you know how much are you actually going to have to invest in that project based on the terms that you're going to get. Because the things you will be able to figure out by doing that are, what's the best supplier to purchase from? Should I prepay my expenses? Or should I pre-order materials? If I do pre-order materials, what type of discount do I need? How is that going to impact my cash on this project? Will I be able to use all contract labor? Can I offer my contract labor to be paid every 2 weeks? What if my contract labor comes in and says they have to be paid every 2 weeks in order to take the job? All of those types of things you're going to be able to make great decisions on by using factual data, by laying that out. We have a project cash flow tool at Mobilization Funding that you can access on our website. It's free. There's a whole instructional guide for you to be able to use it. Just go to the resource page at mobilizationfunding.com, go to cash flow tool, and you can use our cash flow tool if you don't have one. It's specific for construction, whether it's purchase order based or contract based, short-term job, long-term job. The instructions are there. You can toggle through and answer the questions, and you will get a project cash flow. We don't market to you. We're not trying to spam you with emails. This is a free tool for you to use. If not, though, you don't have to use it. You can use any project cash flow tool that you can come up with or any spreadsheet analysis that you do. But you must know, how much money do I need to invest of my expenses into the project across the schedule that you are trying to keep, and doing it on a week-by-week basis, because that's how your money goes out the door. That will help you determine exactly the information you need to know. It'll help you keep a great and solid bid together, and it'll make sure that when you do bid a job and you have awesome margin in it, that you can actually earn and receive that margin and profit that you're expecting to get. And if you've ever been in a scenario before where you know you bid a great job, you know you have awesome margin in it, but yet you either can't finish it, you get stuck trying to finish it, or you're just overly tight, way more stressed than you need to be, or you're under stress and you have to come up with different requirements or different types of scenarios to help yourself get through that project, whether it's new debt, labor, borrowing money from somewhere else, anything. Those are the exact scenarios that occur when you don't understand the cash flow of the project up front, but yet you know you have an awesome bid. Now look, we've discussed the process, we've talked about bidding. Let's talk about what happens when these mistakes occur. And look, give yourself some grace. This is a hard cash flow cycle to manage. And when I say hard cash flow cycle, I'm talking about construction in general. If you were to apply this cash flow cycle to any other industry, and some of you may have heard me tell this story before about the restaurant industry, but just think about it. If all restaurants had to take care of every single one of their customers from the 1st of the month to the 30th of the month, or the end of the month, feed everybody, pay for all their employees, order all the food, order anything else they need to do, take care of the bills, the receipts, the expenses, the accounts payable that are going out the door. Then at the end of the month, they were able to charge every single one of those customers back to the 1st of the month for all the food that they ate in their restaurant that month, and then gave those folks 30 days to pay. How many restaurants do you think we'd still have open today? Probably not that many. So give yourself a little bit of grace, but it's important to understand that you're living in a difficult cash flow cycle. So it's even more critical for you to do the difficult things to understand it so that you can set yourself up for success. Because we all know when you get out in some of those scenarios that I described, out in the middle of those projects, that's how your whole overall business from one project can get strained. Supplier relationships are under duress, which lead and bleed over to other projects. Your labor, your own mental health, it's hard. It becomes more difficult if you're stressed and spending 2 days a week trying to figure out how you're going to make payroll. It's hard for your employees. They feel it. You're not able to focus on forward-looking things that can help them. You strain customer relationships. You look like you're not performing. All of those things are because you haven't properly planned cash flow along with your bid. These are the changes you can implement right away to make great success and happiness in your business and in your life and in the way you're going to manage yourself, your employees, your team, your subcontract labor, your suppliers. Just like a bad cash flow project bleeds into all those things in a negative way, a great cash flow project coupled with another great cash flow, all those forward-thinking communications that you have also lead to very positive supplier relationships, employee relationships, subcontractor relationships, and customer relationships. So, cash flow in the bidding process is critical. In conclusion, I want you guys to think of one thing. Please consider cash flow in the process of bidding. Use our project cash flow tool at Mobilization Funding or create your own. But the most important thing to understand is making sure that you know how much money of your expenses on a project have to be invested into that project before the project cash flows itself. When you understand that, you can start to make really great decisions proactively at the beginning of a project instead of being forced to react throughout the entire project. It's the difference between you driving the bus or the bus driving you. I hope this video has helped you guys today. If it has, please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you're watching this, or find us on LinkedIn, share the video, support us. Please get the message out and share with your friends. This was a quick video that I hope you guys have been able to find very helpful. I wish you all the best. Good luck, and God bless you.